going to address the matter of People versus Kobe James Harris. Is that you, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I have reason to believe that the defendant is in the same apartment as the complaining witness right now, and I'm extremely scared for her safety. And the fact that she's looking off to the side and he's moving around, I want some confirmation that she is safe before we continue.
All right, what are you on, a laptop or a phone?
Me?
Yes.
Phone.
All right, I want you to walk out to the front of the house, show me the house number on the house.
Why? I don't even think this phone has the charge for that, so I'm at like 2% right now. I'm hooked up to this wall charger right here.
Your Honor.
We're knocking at the door right now for Ms.
What?
The police are at Ms. apartment right now, knocking on the door.
All right. Would you go answer the door?
Yeah, give me 1 second.
You take your phone with you so that I know you're okay.
Over here.
We may need to adjourn this, Your Honor.
So it appears Mr. Harris is there at that house?
I believe so, Your Honor. We would ask that his bond be canceled.
Yeah, so we'll confirm what we're going to find here. This is a issue we didn't have when we had live court. This is the first time, to my knowledge, if he is in the same venue, that this has occurred. Kudos to the Sturgis Police Department for following up on this. Let's see if someone can log in. Officer Edgington, do you have contact with Sergeant Marsh?
I can try to give him a call.
Yeah, would you please?
Your Honor.
Yes?
Mr. Middleton?
Yes.
Mr.
Who am I
Middleton.
speaking? Yes, who am I speaking with?
Kobe.
Yes?
Your Honor, me and both don't want the no contact. I asked that be dropped. I'm sorry I lied to you. I knew the cops were outside. I don't know why I lied to
Mr.
you.
Harris? My advice is don't say anything else. Take the cigarette out of your mouth. The hearing is adjourned. Your bond is canceled. If you have $10 million, you can't bond out. In addition, the prosecutor is probably also going to charge you with obstruction of justice. It may be a situation of you want the bond conditions lifted, you want them lifted, she does not. We're serious as a heart attack. It's the first time I ever had anybody sitting in the next room potentially intimidating a witness and assault rate bodily harm. All right, don't say any more about it. Your bond is canceled. You're digging your hole. You hit bottom and you're continuing to dig. Officers are directed to take him into custody on a bond violation. Bond is canceled. We will reschedule. Good morning, everyone. This is Judge Middleton at 3B District Court in Centerville. Good morning to you all. Today is Monday, the 17th of May, 2021. And I'm going to leave the live chat on this morning. And some of you may have heard that someone else made a post that we are going to be stopping our YouTube live feed effective essentially today. We didn't live feed on Friday. And I wanted to offer a little explanation and some thanks. I received a phone call last Wednesday from the State Court Administrator's Office, and judges in Michigan, we work for the Supreme Court, and each judge is part of a region, and the regions have administrators which are helpful, and there are connections between our local court and the Supreme Court. I got a phone call on Wednesday, I guess we'll say strongly suggesting that we stop our YouTube live feed. They took pains to indicate they couldn't order it, but it was directed essentially to stop the live feed. The next day I got an email from someone who doesn't live in the county but said I was an embarrassment to the county and to the court. And then later a colleague advised me I'd been doing it wrong all along, the YouTube. And essentially everything I've been doing as a judge for 18 years, I was doing wrong. This morning, I got a phone call, someone left a message on our answering machine that I was deplorable. So I guess it's hard to please everyone, certainly. But the Supreme Court are the ones that told us to start the YouTube live feed some year ago. And I thought about it, and I thought, well, if they're the ones that told me to start it, I guess I should listen to them when they tell me to stop it. I asked if there were other courts that were having this issue, and I was told, no, it's just you. So you may be able to find other courts that are live streaming, but we will be ending ours. As a practical matter, courts in Michigan are close to opening up, and with the governor's proclamation last week, it sounds like we're getting closer to that time. We also got some information from our Supreme Court administrator saying, wait a bit to see. But at any rate, we're not very far from just having a court like we used to have. As a historical perspective, when the COVID situation hit last spring, March, April, May, things were at almost a standstill. Many courts just shut down. We managed to continue to operate with a skeleton staff, but the Supreme Court had purchased Zoom licenses for every court in the state of Michigan. So in that respect, they were ahead of the game. And then it became imperative that we use them. So we were given instruction on how to use Zoom, how to set up our own YouTube channel, and begin to broadcast our proceedings out into the public. So that was started probably in May of 2020. And we were just doing that all last summer and fall, and some people were watching our channel, maybe a few local people, people who worked in the courthouse, people that lived here in St. Joe County. We were just doing what we'd been directed to do, and we were conducting court like we do every day. Then this year in March, with the circumstance where the young man was in the house with someone he'd been ordered to not have contact with, that took off and went viral and ended up on the front page of Reddit, and that pointed out some other problems. And then we started to take note of the live chat, and much of it was fine and some of it was not. And so the Supreme Court directed us to turn off the live chat, not just us, but everyone. So it's kind of cumbersome to do it. You have to go through about 15 steps every time you turn on the live feed to shut off the live chat. And I know now that there is a community of people that watch our proceedings, both from here in St. Joseph County and frankly all over the world. I received a lot of nice comments from people in New Zealand and Scandinavia and Nottingham, England, and Parma, Ohio, and Seattle, Washington, and Canada, and Australia, and just for reasons I don't completely understand, we'll speak to in a minute, people have been watching the channel. So it has more than 14,000 subscribers right now, and then they're developed a subreddit regarding Zoom Court, which has a lot of our content, and that has, I'm not sure, 20,000 subscribers. And then we had a couple other cases that went viral, including our recent case with Mr. 2,999 and 9/10, who posted an inappropriate screen name, and that went viral also. And it was after that that I got the call.
During the pandemic, an assault suspect now facing new charges after appearing for a court hearing via Zoom from the home of his alleged victim.
News 8's Joe LaFurgey has our story all new at 6.
Address the matter of People versus Kobe James Harris.
Judges will tell you witness intimidation does happen from time to time, but it's usually outside the courtroom where it's hard to prove.
We are live on YouTube.
But with the pandemic forcing courts to go virtual,
And it's on the Zoom platform.
this case of alleged witness intimidation was tougher to hide.
Your Honor, I have reason to believe that the defendant is in the same apartment as the complaining witness right now, and I'm extremely scared for her safety.
Cody Harris is charged with assault with intent to do great bodily harm less than murder. He's accused of beating his girlfriend at her Sturgis apartment last month.
That is a felony punishable by up to 10 years imprisonment and a fine of up to $5,000.
If convicted, it's bumped up to 15 years for habitual offenders like Harris. But before a hearing to determine if Harris should go to trial on the charges, St. Joseph County Assistant Prosecutor Deborah Davis was tipped off to the fact that Cody Harris may be at his alleged victim's home in another room during the hearing. We're not identifying the victim. Why she let him in the first place is unclear, but domestic violence victims are often prone to intimidation by their abusers. The demeanor of both suspect and accuser helped confirm Davis's suspicions.
And the fact that she's looking off to the side and he's moving around, I want some confirmation that she is safe before we continue.
District
And I
Court
want to
Judge
hear
Jeffery Middleton set the trap.
All right, I want you to walk out to the front of the house. Show me the house number on the house.
Why? I don't even think this phone has the charge for that, sir. I'm at like 2% right now.
But Sturgis police were already at the front door. Moments later, the Zoom hearing recorded Harris being put into handcuffs. Watch the prosecutor's reaction when the defendant tries to appeal to the judge.
Yes?
Your Honor, me and both don't want the no contact. I asked that that be dropped. I'm sorry I lied to you. I knew the cops were outside. I don't know why I lied.
Mr. Harris, my advice is don't say anything else. Take the cigarette out of your mouth. The hearing is adjourned.
Harris's bond was revoked. He'll be in jail for the foreseeable future.
We're serious as a heart attack. It's the first time I ever had anybody sitting in the next room potentially intimidating
I never
witnesses.
attacked.
Harris's next court appearance is scheduled for March 16th. Joe LaFurgey, News 8.
And as I indicated, we're not very far away from just having our courts open, and the courts would be like they used to be. If you wanted to watch a court proceeding, you could come in and watch it. So this, I guess, was an experiment in transparency and public acknowledgement of what we're doing in our courts. Once we turned it on, everything we did was subject to the greater public scrutiny. Now, certainly, we make a record every day. All our proceedings are recorded, and there's a record made of each proceeding. And but it wasn't broadcast out into the world, and the content wasn't taken by others and used for other purposes. There's one inherent flaw in this whole process. I'm all for transparency and allowing people to see how our courts operate, including my court. I'm not ashamed of anything I did here in court. That's how we try to conduct our business here in St. Joseph County. But the inherent flaw in the process is that nobody asked the litigants what they thought about it. Nobody asked the domestic violence victims or the young girl charged with shoplifting or somebody that got arrested for drunk driving or someone that's got a prelim on a methamphetamine charge or something as simple as driving without a license. Nobody asked them, what do you think about being broadcast on YouTube and having 1.5 million hits? So that's the downside of this. And There was an excellent article, probably the best article written so far about this, was in Vice magazine by an author named Gita Jackson. It's entitled, "Zoom Court Videos Are Making People's Darkest Hours Go Viral." And talks about the struggle between transparency and privacy. I thought the article was fair and balanced and well written. She asked to speak to me and I declined and referred her to the Supreme Court, and they did address the issue. I've not spoken to anyone from any media. I haven't talked to the local newspapers, the television stations, Court Call, Inside Edition, I don't know, people that called and wanted an interview. I haven't granted an interview. Everything I say here on the record, I guess, speaks for itself. I don't have a television show. I'm not looking to have a $44 million syndication deal. We don't make any money off of these videos, although it's troubling to me. Someone, I guess YouTube, has monetized some of these videos and they have advertisements in them. And that certainly is distressing. We didn't set out to become YouTube stars. We were just doing our court. And we are where we are now. As I indicated, the Supreme Court were the ones that told us to do this in the first place, so I guess I should follow their instruction when they tell me to stop. So we will stop. And as indicated, I've left the live feed on, the live chat on for today for one last time. I have a lot of people to thank that you don't see. My staff is behind me, preparing the files, answering my responses, filling my requests. We have an excellent court administrator that runs the behind-the-scenes operations of our court. Here in the courtroom, I'm the only one here. There's no court reporter, there's no clerk, there's no moderator, there's me. And so I'm starting and stopping the recording. I am starting and stopping the YouTube, the Zoom, the Polycom, and there's a lot going on. But I want to thank my staff for all the help they give me day in, day out. We have about 17,000 cases in our little county. My colleague judges here in St. Joseph County, I thank them. I exchange information with them almost every day. And we have an excellent group of judges here in St. Joseph County. At least one of them, I believe, is going to continue to live stream. But as I indicated here, I've been asked to stop. I also want to thank my wife and my family. My wife, who gets stopped on the street every day saying, "Hey, we saw your husband on YouTube," and she won't have to put up with that anymore. I don't know if it's all negative, but most people had nice things to say. She's been very supportive about all this. And my sons, who are much more technologically savvy than I am, are out there sometimes sending me links and stuff I didn't need to see, including the Zoom subreddit. Anyway, I thank my wife and my family. And the lawyers that appeared here in our court, Deborah Davis appears quite regularly, and she does interact somewhat with the people in there. She's been assigned to my court. She's very professional. I appreciate having her here. I think a lot of people watched the videos because they liked her. That's okay too, but she is, just like me, here doing our business. I haven't done anything differently than I did before I turned the YouTube on or after I turned it off. And St. Joseph County is a little county. In Michigan, people do this. They hold up their hand, and St. Joe County is over here in the southwest corner on the Indiana border. We have about 65,000 people, and if you want to know more about St. Joseph County, I'd suggest a couple of books you might want to read, which are Gentle and Genteel by an author who lives just a few miles from me named Tom Springer. I've recommended some of these books before. His most recent book is called Star and the Sycamore. His earlier book is called Looking for Hickories. And they're just little essays about living here in southwest Michigan and St. Joe County. And you may enjoy them, maybe not. Anyway, I didn't set out to be a YouTube star. As I said, some people think it's deplorable. Other people have been very thankful and complimentary. I've been contacted by law students, law schools. There are a number of people that are watching this daily who are either lawyers or paralegals or other legal professionals that are watching it. And I've been invited to speak at one or more cyber conferences. I'm not sure what to call them, and I've respectfully declined. This is just me doing my job. I suppose now that we stop, maybe I'd be willing to speak about it, but I have not. As I said, no interviews, no posting, just doing this every day. So people may think that St. Joe County is, I'm not sure, someone said I was embarrassing the county. We don't audition people to come into court, they just come when they come. And we try to treat them with respect and dignity and try to take care of their legal business. So we aren't like Green Acres or a bunch of people like Eb Dawson, or we aren't the casting call for Winter's Bone with our methamphetamine problems. We're just people. And ultimately, that's who I work for. Our people, these people, the battered spouses, the child abuse victims, the retail fraud defendants, the drunk drivers, the people struggling with methamphetamine addiction, the embezzlers, the car thieves, the victims. Those are the people that I work for. I don't work for the Supreme Court. I don't work for a commission. I don't really work for St. Joe County. They pay my salary, which I appreciate, but ultimately I work for the people that live here in Michigan, including sovereign citizens who may not believe I have jurisdiction over them, but I work for those people. And I think some of these have become embarrassing, perhaps humiliating to the people that have elected me to office 8 times. So when it all comes down to that, that certainly needs to be taken into consideration. I'd like to thank some other people, the people that did cover this. There's a young lawyer named Natalie Burrell who has a website, and she covered a couple of our videos, and I thought treated them fairly. But again, one of the concerns was that people were using this for entertainment rather than education. As I mentioned, I don't have a show or an offer for a show. At one point, a friend did try several years ago to market some sort of St. Joe County reality show. No one was interested, but that was what this was. This was a reality show that was reality. And it gave people a slight window into how the judicial system works here in 2021 in Michigan and in St. Joseph County and maybe the rest of the world. So I think we'll end up as a historical footnote when people look back at what happened during COVID shutdown and the Zoom era of the court. But as I indicated, very soon we're going to just be court, and we're going to be open. We will still use Zoom, I'm sure, for many things, but I don't think we'll be live streaming. I'm not sure if anyone will be live streaming soon, but as I indicated, there are still other judges who are live streaming at this point. So we will not be. In just a few minutes, I have a busy docket of civil cases. I have some misdemeanor sentences in a few minutes, and a busy landlord-tenant afternoon. The people that I work for expect me to be here all day, every day, and conduct their business fairly and efficiently and appropriately. So that's what we'd like to try to do. I thank you all for watching. I thank you for the many, many, many positive comments. I've received cards and emails and other messages. I guess for everyone that thinks I'm deplorable, there are some people that thank us for sharing our proceedings with them. So I wish you the best of luck. I'll still be here. I've been here since 1980, and if I finish this term, it'll be 5.5 more years for a total of 48 years. So I appreciate all the people that I work with, lawyers, the staff here at the courthouse, and I thank you for watching our videos, commenting on them, having an opinion, and maybe learning something about the judicial process and how it works, at least here. So with that, I say